was real smooth.
Damn, KBHE.
Back in cheese, man. It's the Qualified to Motivate podcast. I'm your host, Dante Quitman. I'm here with Bryson Robier.
Yeah, we got us a special guest today.
Special guest in the building. He came clean. You were definitely the best dressed on the podcast. And you brought gifts. So that's 2 times you done won.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we give out awards this season. We got to remember that.
Yeah.
Trying to set the standards for y'all.
I feel you, bro. You're doing the thing, too.
Yeah.
You're doing the thing. I like it.
You moved the bar up. You really kicked it up a notch.
You gotta step that game up when they come on.
Kicked it up a notch.
You got the man in here, man.
Yeah.
Steven Ryder. Let him know who you is.
So I'm Steven Ryder. I'm a full-time college student. I own 2 businesses, and we've been operating for about 2.5 years now. And I recently published my first book, so yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Get out there and read it. We
Right,
got
that dear Wantrepreneur.
Yeah, we got us a copy right here.
Ain't gonna lie, man. This is nice. I'm not gonna sit here and be a cap host and lie to you. I got the chapter 26. I ain't get all the way through it, but
Still.
I got the chapter 26. I'm about done. But you was kicking a lot of game in here, and I was really wanting to talk about like the self confidence that you was talking about in here.
Honestly, it just comes down to believing in what you're going to do for the most part. Like, if you're going to do something, but you think, like, in the back of your head, you're going to fail, you're going to fail.
Fact.
You
Every
have
time.
you have to own what you do every day.
You got to give it that energy.
Like, you really got to believe in, like, it's gonna work.
For sure, yeah. I tell myself and I tell everybody around me, like, I am going to be rich. I will be one of the millionaires and the billionaires that you will know in your life. And, like, I full-heartedly believe that. Now, of course, I get a lot of hate. People call me egotistical. Like, they act like I'm a douchebag, and they're probably right. But at the end of the day, like, we're going to see who's got the yacht and who doesn't.
It's all about that perspective, you know what I'm saying?
I like it, man. That's big. That's how you do it. You gotta just drop them on them sometimes. Let it hang.
Yeah.
Let it hang.
Yeah, man.
Let them know more about the Invective and the High Point Decals, man.
All right, so it's kind of a longer story. So
Get into it. That's why I brought you here. I wanted you to really, because I got to give you more props, bro. You was like one of the people who also, you was just asking about it. You was also a person who inspired me to start the podcast, because before I even had like a mic or anything or a camera, you could DM me like, yo, I want to be on your podcast. I was like, hey, well, shit, I don't even got one yet, but I got to have him on there.
yeah. So that's because, like, when I first started doing, like, entrepreneurship, basically, man, you very quickly learn that it's a rare breed. There's not a lot of people that are trying to do their own thing to be able to, like, escape the 9-to-5, right?
Yeah.
And so anytime I see someone like yourself that you're trying to do a podcast or a business or whatever it might be, and you're trying to, like, escape that grind, like, you already got a special spot in my heart. And it's just because, like, it is so rare and so unique to find someone that's willing to commit to something that has such a high degree of risk, but it's the only thing that's going to get you the life you want.
Yeah, man. That's
Real
facts.
deal. I like it, bro. That's heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
He came to play.
He said you put some skin in the game.
Yeah,
We
he
appreciate
came to
that.
play, man. So we gotta ask, man. We bring everybody on here. We gotta ask him, what makes you qualified to motivate?
Honestly, man, I'm not sure. I think I try to have ripple effects in my community. I want people to aspire for more than just kind of what they're taught to do. So in my opinion, I think that high school, college, a lot of it is setting you up to be a 9-to-5 worker, right? You're going to go work for the man. You're going to be someone else's, like, employee, and they're going to be making money off your back. And that's not how that should work, bro. You should aspire for more.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of people are gonna want to stay in the employee lane. Like a lot of people don't want that, and that's okay too if you want to,
Oh, yeah. It's all about what
what you want in life. You know what I mean? If you don't,
yourself up for.
if you're not like happy with that 9-to-5 and you think it might not work, then you got to try something out. Just try it first. Just go for it. It's the
Yeah.
only way you're gonna get any like experience in anything is just doing it. So just
And
try
there ain't
it out,
no
man. You can always go back to the 9-to-5. It's
Absolutely.
there.
Should be a
Yeah.
fallback.
It's there.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get your bread somehow. You gotta. There was something you talked about in your book, and it was talking about when you start a business. You don't want to really go in and sink a lot of debt into loans if you don't have to. If you got the capital to start it,
Go
And so
for it.
if you can get a 9-to-5 for a little bit and get you some capital to start it, that definitely helps.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. You know what I mean? Like, that is a perfectly good way to make a good living for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But for myself, it was like, I don't want to go and work this job that, in my opinion, I'm inevitably going to hate after some point. Maybe it'll be 10 years in, maybe it'll be 20, but eventually I'm going to hate that job.
You're gonna hate it.
And then you got to hope that you're going to have enough money to retire by 60, 65 years old, and that's not guaranteed either.
That's facts.
And we know our
retirement is
generation
getting
is
scary.
getting the social security type stuff, so that's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've felt that over the past couple years. Like, you really can't hate work. Like, when you wake up and you know it's time, you in your body, like, oh my God, I gotta go in here, deal with these people, all just because I need this money for no other reason. Like, you deal with so much, put yourself through so much.
It's not
You
easy to
gotta do
find
it.
a 9 to 5 that you're
like.
going to appreciate for the long term.
So I think that's a good time to bring up the Twitch thing. So
Yeah.
I had a experience when I was in high school. Basically, I started playing video games, and then I was like, I don't really like talk to anybody while I play games. I don't have friends that I play with on the mic or nothing.
Yeah.
And so I started streaming on Twitch, right? And I got pretty big. Probably about 6 months in, I started getting like several thousand followers a day. Like, I was growing real quick.
Yeah, he was getting up there.
Yeah, I had sponsorships. I was getting a couple $1,000s every single month doing it.
Oh yeah.
But it sort of became a job to me. And so just playing video games, like, a lot of people act like that's like a dream job. Like, you should never be unhappy if all you're doing is making money playing video games. Like, to an extent, they're right.
Oh, yeah.
But on the flip side, like, you get stuck, man. It becomes work. It's not fun like you think it is. It's not just playing video games anymore.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's all about that perspective. Like, I remember as a kid saying that 100 times. Like, I wish I could just get paid for doing this right here. Like, and when we were growing up, I don't think that was as big of a thing. But it definitely has become a thing. Like, by the time we were 16, there was people making millions of dollars for playing video games.
Yeah, we was
and I
watching.
remember, and I was playing video games in my free time, being like, why can't I just get paid to do this instead of going, wherever to make whatever? And it's like,
it don't matter. Like, it come down, even like what you love, there's a grind with it. People love to play football or be in the NFL. Like, there's still a grind. There's still a grind attached to it.
If
Even
you
love
as soon
playing
as you
video
have to
games,
do
there's
it,
still a grind attached to it when you want to do it professionally and make money. So it's like, if you don't have that, you know what I'm saying, that want to grind, then it's not gonna.
few people have that
fulfill
passion
what
for
you
one
need.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Now, yeah.
I want you to talk to us about like how you got started in the whole entrepreneurship game.
So basically, it kind of stemmed from Twitch for me. So once I realized, like, you could make money doing something that wasn't a 9 to 5, and like at the time, I was making as much money as my parents were a month, and I was just playing video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that became a job for me. Like, I didn't want to do that no more, and kind of took a hiatus from anything entrepreneurial, I guess.
Yeah.
And just went to college like anybody else. You know what I mean? And it was really when the COVID thing hit. I was sitting there, we had about 6 months off school, not shit to do.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend starts talking about, like, yo, I want to make crafts. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, no, like, seriously, I want to get big into it. And I was like, all right, what are we going to do with all this shit sitting around the house?
Yeah.
Like, once you make it.
Do something with it.
Yeah. And so she's like, I don't know, I guess we'll start a business. And I was like, all right, cool, but it's got to be viable. Like, people aren't going to go buy, like, paintings. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many paintings on the market.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so we
a
basically we figured out how much money we were willing to risk. And at the time it was about $1,200. We went over budget by $100. We spent $1,300. We bought like a Cricut machine, a heat press, some other things. And basically we started a clothing line.
Okay.
And the whole idea was, we live in a college town. People love to party here. So we're going to make a bunch of clothes and then sell them at the front door of a big ass party. Like, we're going to throw a big party and people are going to come by it. It worked. Like, we didn't really expect it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we sold out the first couple of times we did that.
Nice.
And pretty soon we ran into the roadblock of like, damn, we don't know what designs to make anymore. Like, we have no idea how we can change this up with our logo to make it better. And so at that point we kind of pivoted away. And we had a lot of money saved up because of like our previous drops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was about that time that my friend Cameron, who is a fraternity brother of mine, he hit me up saying his brother was selling his decal business.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, I don't know nothing about decals, but why not? Like, I'll talk to him and see what it's all about. At the time, the business was doing about $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, like, he just wanted to get rid of it because he was starting like a bigger, better business, right? He started a moving company. And so he's negotiating with me. We're talking about prices. Dude, somehow, some way, I talked this man into selling it to me for $1,000. A $30,000 a year business for $1,000. And we picked that up, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird because the whole market was like, I call them like truck people. So people that buy the big lifted trucks, it's like
they
a
got
show
the wheels
truck.
on it, the lights, rims,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stance. Yeah.
And like, I'm not one of those people, man. Like, I'm the person that makes fun of those people. You know what I mean? And so I did not know what I was doing with this market. And so it was a big learning curve at first. We lost a couple thousand followers on the Instagram in the first couple months. Like, we had about 14,000 followers on there. We nuked that in the first couple months. Like, it went down hard. But
The
it was,
target audience changed up real quick.
yeah.
How many do you think you lost?
Oh, dude, probably almost 2,000 followers. Like, it was rough.
That's kind of fast, too.
Yeah, it was fast. It was fast.
Man.
Well, the thing is, like, because he was posting truck shows and all these lifted trucks, and he was in a truck club. So the
Really
previous
into
owner, I
it.
mean,
Like, yeah, like he knew about it, was into it. He was one of the cult, like, of that community. Of that, like,
yeah, one of the cult, bro.
Yeah.
And so I just wasn't. So we were killing the following really hard, and we started to get back into it and kind of figure it out. And we were doing pretty good, making a couple $100s a month off it. And eventually we pivoted and we decided, like, you know what, we're business people at this point. We've been running businesses for about a year and a half. And so why not pivot and try to sell to other businesses? And since we started doing that, we've made huge partners. So my biggest like client right now, it's a trash company that does, they're worth $36 million. They have 5 locations in 5 different states. Nice. And they do about $14 million a year in revenue.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so it's a really big client, right? So it kind of like landed a big fish, so to speak.
Yeah,
definitely did.
And now, of course, our revenue's picked up a lot as a result of that. I can leverage my partnership with them to go to other companies and say, like, hey, these people trust us. They're a big business.
Like, talks with these people. Yeah.
Yeah. And their corporate team loves us. We've gone down to Wilmington before and literally just spent a whole day with their corporate team, learning a little bit from their marketing person, a little bit from their HR person, like a little bit from the boss himself.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. And so it's sometimes business is about taking risks. You know what I mean? Like that trip down to Wilmington, I didn't know any of the people personally at that point. I got invited over on LinkedIn. Wow. And so the trip cost us about $800 in total. Had to get a hotel room, had to drive down there, groceries, all that, right?
Yeah.
And all we did was go down there and learn. And so because of that, now the owner of the business that I can't name.
Don't say any names. We don't do any names on this podcast. It's all right.
Yeah, so he's kind of mentoring me in a sense now, and so he's helping me like grow my businesses and stuff, and it's been real smooth. So we started really small, just as a basic clothing line in college.
Yeah,
and kind of had a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and we worked our way up to a pretty big business now.
Yeah, man, that's what's up right there. That's what it's all about.
Taking risks, man.
One of the like biggest things that I learned through all of it, though, because so we went into the business. Like, you know, we might make money, we might not. Who cares? We're just going to learn how to run a business.
And learn how to do it through all the lessons and losses.
Yeah, and so that was super valuable because then when you make a mistake, you don't care. You learn something. You know what I mean? If you're just there to learn, who cares?
Every time.
And so, yeah, basically, here, pick it up. I lost my train of thought. You're going to have to take that.
All right, I got you. Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you was, that we did send over to you was, what's one of the like biggest, like it was a loss, like it, like by every means of the word, like it was a loss, but it was also a big lesson that you learned in your like business journey or your entrepreneurship journey.
What was a loss?
Yeah, like it was a loss, like you definitely failed, like took an L, but it was like a big lesson that you also learned from. I think we asked you that too, but I don't remember the answer.
Yeah, I don't remember what I told you guys.
You can tell me
but
a different one too, because
one of our big losses has just been like buying inventory, right, that you really think is going to sell. You spend a couple $100s buying blank t-shirts or blank like wooden crosses or whatever, and you're going to engrave them or make custom clothes, and no one wants that shit. Yeah. And it's like, damn, I just spent hundreds of dollars for that. Like, what do I do with this now?
What do you do? Like, I got to make something off of it.
Yeah. And so the way we fix that is like we just turn it into marketing. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll just make it anyways, show the process, show how we're doing it, and just turn it into marketing.
I think that's the most vital skill for anybody who's gonna be an entrepreneur. You don't even like, because you can tell with like some, like, I'm not trying to call no people out with like just music and things like that. It's not about like the content of things today. It's really about the marketing behind it. If you got a really good marketing team, you're kind of gonna be successful.
Oh yeah.
Just cause like initially, anyways, at first, you know what I'm saying. If you got putting out some crap, like after people watch it, they're gonna be like, all right, no. But if you got some good content or whatever you got, product, service is good, and you got great marketing with it, it's gonna go every time.
So marketing is one of the hardest things to learn in business.
It is.
Because when it burns you bad.
Yeah, like
But-
it can either go or it can't at all. Like it's.
But that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you get instant feedback. If you
Yeah.
run like an Instagram ad, for example, in the first 10 hours, you're going to know whether that ad was worth it or not.
Worth it or not.
So one of the big things I do is if I have like a $500 budget for running ads on Instagram, right? Instead of spending $500 on one ad or $250 on two, what I do is I'll run 4 ads at $25 a piece. And then whichever one does good, I go dump the other 400 into it.
That's a good idea right there. I like that. Might have to take that out the playbook. I like that one.
Yeah, because the feedback is
I
so
like that
instant
one.
with
Yeah,
marketing. You
can
know what I
tell.
mean?
Anytime you drop them on like TikTok, Instagram, after really, you said what, first 10 hours?
Yeah, about
Really,
10 hours.
Really, the first 2.
Yeah.
you know, like you can tell, like it'll like be crazy. You'll just look like, oh wow, it's just, and then some of them but then again, stuff can go viral 2-3 years later, 4 years later. So you never know.
Yeah. And you got to remember that everybody's going to have, not everybody, but somebody's going to have something negative to say no matter what. Even if it's the perfect ad and it pops off and it does real well for you, somebody's going to have something negative to say about
Everybody's got their opinion.
it. Yeah. You gotta let them worry about that.
One of the
Keep
wildest
moving
things.
with
How
it.
was your college experience, man? Was you one of the party animals? Did you lay in the cut? Was it laid back for you? Did you?
So a little bit of both, man. So I definitely still go partying,
That's the way to
usually
do it.
most on weekends. But I mean, freshman and sophomore year, I was big into the party stuff.
That's how it's supposed to
And
be.
joining a fraternity didn't help me. So I'm a founding father of Kappa Sig, which means basically I helped take it from not being on campus to a full-fledged fraternity.
Wow.
And so
Yeah, you just started it.
yeah, that was a big part of kind of like my entrepreneurial journey, because you don't really realize this if you're not in one, but when you're in a fraternity or sorority, you're running a business. At the end of the day, you've got members that you have to keep interested so that they keep coming back. They give you their dues, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you can go do stuff with that. You can market yourself with that. You can go on a vacation with it. It doesn't matter,
Running
but
an
fall flat with it, too.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of PR. Like if you have a brother that does something stupid, you got to know when to
cover
cut
up
it
for that,
or
yeah.
cover it. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's-
crazy. I never thought about it that way. That's real though. It is a business for sure.
They're registered as nonprofit organizations. So basically, what that means is they have their credentials set so that they don't pay taxes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And other than that, like it's a business, and that is a real business type, being a nonprofit. So legally, they're a business, and in reality, when you're in one, it's a business, man.
So you said you give back to the community a lot. Like, is that one of the nonprofit ways you give back to the community through that fraternity, or like what other venues are your favorite way to, like give back?
So the fraternity is a great way to give back to the community, but personally, I feel like I bring more to the table when it comes to like business and mindset kind of stuff. And so one example is like my girlfriend has this, like she works with youth that has been a victim of crime. So
Oh, okay.
sexual assault, their parents beat them, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so she has this client right now that has been considering dropping out of high school.
Right.
And the kid's got a really bad home life, and he wants to start his own PC repair business.
Yeah.
And so and he's also got some cognitive disabilities.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I did to give back basically was I gave him a copy of my book. I signed it. I was like, you got this, like chase your dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's what's up, man.
it's the
That's
small
real.
things to me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
Because
Going back and reaching out.
yeah,
Those
like
one-on-one interactions.
my book hasn't made me shit. Like I'm losing money on my book to this
Oh,
day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But
Remember, I rock with the book.
a lot of people can read it, and you can gain a lot from it.
You
And so
can.
I think there
it's
is
a nice
some-
read. Like
yeah.
it's easy. It was meant to be an easy read, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, man. There was one of those things that you spelled right out, like just in layman's terms for everybody, dude. It was perfect. It was one of those. I think it was nonprofits, man. Yeah, it was the nonprofit. That chapter in that book, dude, it tells you like exactly what they are, how to do it, set it. It was just, man, you need somebody like that out there, put it all in line for you.
For sure.
If you got a plan to be an entrepreneur, this book's got it in chronological order.
It's nice.
Of the process.
If you know what you're doing already, though, it's probably not the book for you. So I basically wrote the book because all the entrepreneurial books you see, they're
Yeah.
written from people that are already like
They've got
multimillionaires.
made.
Yeah.
They've got money.
Exactly, bro. It's the wrong perspective.
They've
no
had
one.
money.
Yeah.
It's
And it's like you could say that that's speaking from experience, but it's not as same. it's not the same as someone that is writing a book while they're still in the grind. Like, I'm not rich yet by any means. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I just thought having that piece of literature out there where it basically answers all the questions that I wish I knew when I was starting my first business.
Yeah.
I thought it would be able to bring a lot of value to people. And so that's kind of why I wrote it.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. You may not be rich yet, but you came through looking like brand new money.
Yeah. And if
You know what I'm saying?
if it really works out for you, which I hope it does and everything, then people will go back and use that book and be like,
Exactly.
you know, this
He was
guy
right.
this is where he was when
spot
I
on.
was this age, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he made something happen, so I
Yeah.
can too, you know what I mean?
I had
Definitely
someone.
inspiration, bro. It's motivation. That's why we had to get you on here, man.
Yeah.
You're writing books, businesses. How old are you?
I'm 22.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, two
Yeah.
businesses in college.
There's a problem with that though.
Doing it.
People don't think you got the like know-how or the experience when you're a certain age.
But they know that's when you're the most hungry. So
True.
It doesn't matter.
True. I had someone say to me last night, like one of my friends was talking to their parents about my book, and the mom said basically, he's 22 years old. How do you know he knows shit about business? Like, he's too young. He doesn't know anything. And it's like, listen, at the end of the day, you don't own two businesses. Like, if you don't want to read my book, that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is like the next greatest book. This is going to change your life. But like, you have to speak from a place of experience to some degree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate on like a young person trying to do it, like and do
Yeah.
it like big like that. Like they're just like, oh, you don't know nothing. It's like, well, you're not gonna
Hell,
give me
how
a
did
chance?
you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How did
like
you
you're
get?
not gonna. How did you get started?
How old were you when you learned something? You know what I
Right.
mean?
So I got a question for you. When I was really, and I talked about this a little bit in the book, when I first started out with like owning businesses, kind of
Yeah.
taking a different route in life, I lost all my friends, dude. Like, yeah, and part of it was me and part of it was them, but it was like, I started realizing like all these people, they don't aspire for the same future that I want. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
I'm a strong believer in that saying of like, surround yourself by 5 people, and your 5 closest friends, like you will be the sum of that. So if all your 5 closest friends are crackheads, you're going to be on crack. If they're all millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So have you
was
experienced
great.
that at all in starting your podcast where like you start to kind of separate yourself from
You
people
want me
that
to be real with you? I'll be all
Yeah,
the way honest.
yeah.
I read that part in your book, and I just be conscious of that whenever I'm around people. I ain't even gonna lie. Like sometimes you gotta shut up talking about business and stuff. Don't nobody want to hear about that shit.
Yeah, and it kind of hurts, right? Because it's like, dude, that's what I'm passionate about. Like, what you mean?
Like you can say a little bit about it, but don't go crazy. Like people don't want to hear that, man. I mean, you know, they're gonna ask, "Hey, man, how's it been going?" You tell them, but don't go like talking. Hey, man, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. You're gonna see them lose interest in the conversation. Like you're just gonna have all these ideas in your head, and I just do it like. I mean, a lot of my friends are business like minded. Even if they don't want to like start their own business, they still got big like ideas and stuff like that. So I just look at it like everybody's not gonna do what you want to do.
Yeah, and a lot of that's like, you know, everyone's got ideas. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But what separates people from entrepreneurs is the people that are willing to take that risk. Because everyone's got a good idea, man. Literally everybody has an idea that can
Yeah.
change the world, get them rich. It's very far and few between the people that are
That do
actually
it.
gonna like spend money, talk about it, like tell their friends they're gonna do it. Like you were telling me before the podcast, one of the reasons you started this is because you started telling other people about what you were gonna do, and then you know you kind of had to prove something at that point.
Yeah,
And so like
yeah.
it really is a strong
Everybody's
motivator.
gonna be like, "Oh, well, I heard you. Well, why you didn't start the podcast? I thought you was starting the
Yeah.
podcast." He's like, "I ain't trying to hear none of that, so I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
I'ma
So
do it.
the fact that y'all are listening to this podcast right now, like that does set you apart, because you could be doing 20 other things with your time, right? But you're sitting here trying to learn, trying to gain experience, and trying to gain opinions from other people. And that's big. That's going to separate you in the long term.
Yeah, man. Trying to
Yeah.
get a positive voice out there.
Plus,
Spread
I
the
feel
word.
like podcast is just a new move. Like with everything going to that automated route, I feel like podcast is like the next realest thing besides a documentary. Like it's not reality TV. It's not scripted. Really, it's just raw conversation. And like
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people want now, especially after COVID. Like
Yeah, you see all that edited stuff. You know, you see a video that's like 11 minutes long out of a 2-hour podcast. You know, they're just taking the greatest clips out of that.
yeah,
but-
that's why you know what I'm saying, we don't edit it that much because it gives it a nice full cinematic flow to it, not because we're lazy.
Yeah, you just gotta let it ride.
Let it
sometimes.
ride, man. Let it ride. We're not gonna edit nothing.
I think there is value to like cutting out little clips of it though.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
Like you seen the YouTube shorts, TikToks,
Oh, yeah.
all that's popping off.
That's what Vlad TV does. He kills it. He's the one who like probably mastered that, where you take an hour-long interview and break it down in like 3-minute clips, 10 to 15, 20, 3-minute clips, and then still drop that full interview.
Yeah,
And like that's just a lot of editing is all it is. But
you'll get more views on that
you get a
clip.
lot- yeah,
But when people want to know who you really are, they'll go watch that
they'll
video.
go watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I saw Mr. Beast one time. You know, he's kind of like the undisputed king of YouTube at this point.
Yeah, he's going crazy, just giving out Lamborghinis to waitresses and just doing wild
Crazy.
stuff. I don't know.
And someone was asking him like,
God
"Yo,"
bless him.
God bless him.
they were saying like, "Yo, doesn't it piss you off when other people take your videos and stuff and they cut them up and clip them down and then they make money off of your content?" And he was like, "No, are you kidding me? That's free marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're doing the work
exactly.
for me and they're gonna come back to my channel to see it." And I kind of think that's the mindset like a lot of podcast people need to
That's
have.
yeah, like it's a new age of like the content creation. Like you're not about to, unless you're Disney or somebody, you're not about to be able to stop reproduction of your content. It's gonna happen, and you just got to take it as like flattery. Like
That's what I'm saying. I'm doing this because I like it. And if
if
you
it
want to
gets my
use
name
it,
big and they get some money off of it, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's just when people get more money off of it than they do.
I don't even know, man. It's
I
just
think that's
greedy.
what
I
it
think
is.
it's
yeah,
just
like
greedy.
if you're greedy, I'm not like really mad. Like as long as it's helping me, I don't care, man. You getting some money off of it, cool, man. I will.
Everybody
As long as I'm good and stable, and I ain't gonna lie. If I'm down bad and fucked up, and I see you making money, hey man, we're gonna have to send some paperwork over there.
Yeah,
where-
you
where
got
my
to send
check
the
over
we're gonna
there?
send the invoice or
cease and
something. but-
desist.
Yeah, something.
Why you
We ain't even
playing
got to
my-
do that. I don't even want to stop your motion. Just let me get something. Let me get a little bit.
Playing my podcast at your Christmas party.
Nah, let me get some money. If I'm good
gonna
in
get a
life
check
and
off
I'm
of
all
that.
right, go ahead, let him eat. I don't care how much, even if he has more than me. But if I'm down bad, hey man, look out for me. That's how I'm coming, man. That's how I feel about it. But that's just me. That's just me. Anyway, where you from, bro?
So originally I was born in Phoenix, Arizona.
For real?
And I grew up there till I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
Oh man, what was it like out there? I know it's
Hot.
Yeah, I was
It
about
was
to say
hot. That's the only way to describe
It's
it.
dry.
Yeah, it's dry,
That
it's
messed me
hot.
up.
Bro, but one of the cool things, everybody's got a pool in their backyard. Like,
Oh, wow.
you come to
Got
North
to.
Carolina, where we're at now,
Yeah.
it's only the rich people.
Yeah,
In Arizona, it's standard, bro. If you don't have a pool, like, you're going to die in the summer.
kind of have to. It's like having AC.
Yeah. So, like, the houses aren't, like, way more expensive to have pools there. It's not like a luxury thing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
They got the
part of it.
setup for everybody
Yeah.
to have a pool.
Yeah, so like I grew up out here for real. Like I grew up like an hour away from here, hour and a half. So I grew up in the mountains a lot. And then I went out on a trip one time to like San Diego, and we drove through like Arizona, New Mexico, all that. It's just the heat. Like even when the wind blows, that's hot air.
Yeah.
That's crazy as hell to me. Like how does that?
It's one of the cool things, though, and think about this next time you go out west, when you're in, like, Nevada,
Yeah.
Arizona, any of those states. It's a really wet heat here, so it's really
Yeah,
humid.
you can feel it.
When you start sweating in North Carolina, bro, it sucks. You get hotter.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
out in Arizona or Nevada and you start sweating, it cools you down. It actually does what it's supposed to do. And like
Gotcha.
it feels good.
Got you.
Nah, it's a humid heat.
Yeah.
It's dry out there though. Ooh.
It's like pouring water on the rocks in a sauna. You know, it steps it up a notch.
No, man, that's crazy. I also thought I wanted to bring this up because this is something I've been thinking about. Like every book that I read, I've been reading like all these books about like great leaders and this and that, and they're always talking about team and delegation. And I seen that was a chapter in your book about delegation. So I was wondering, did you personally like? Is it just something that you wanted to talk about in the book, or was it you personally have outsourced through Fiverr?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like
So
that's the wave right now. That's the
Fiverr's great. I mean, so certain skill sets you just don't have, or you just don't have the time to do it, right?
Like it takes up a lot of your time to do certain stuff.
So I've got probably 5-6 years in design experience now, working with like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, the mainstream design programs.
Yeah.
And at one point, we wanted to make High Point Decals. We wanted to rebrand it completely, change the logo up, change everything, right?
I got you.
And I was like stumped. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I had made all these designs. You know, some of them look good, some of them don't. And at the end of the day, I was like, screw it. I'll spend $300. I'm gonna go hire a Fiverr artist and have him make my logo. And I'm so happy I did. That was one of the greatest investments I've made because our logo is killer now. Like y'all seen the koozies.
Yeah.
It looks like a wheel in motion. Like it makes
Yeah.
sense. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fire.
And like I could have made it, you know, I have the skills. I just didn't want to spend the time and I didn't have the creativity. And so certain times like
That's the part of it.
outsourcing is the move for sure.
Part of great leadership, though. Like
It's
you
one of
gotta-
those things like you don't buy
You
the
gotta
cheap
know
one.
where to use your time best,
Yeah.
where you best use your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about building a team too is like you don't want to hire people that share your opinion. You know what I mean? Like hiring people that have all the same views of you. Yeah, it'll be easier. You're not going to argue. But if y'all have differences, like real differences, they're going to make you learn and grow as a person. They're going to show you the other side. And sometimes that's what you need, right? You need to see the other side of the argument.
That's why Bryson's here. He can talk me all the way into something,
or turkey all the way down out of something.
or down out of something. That's usually what it is.
Yeah. You be trying to make
We
some
usually,
wild
we usually got the same opinion, just two different types of execution.
Yeah.
It's just represented differently.
That's how me and my girl are. So for the viewers out there, y'all don't know, my girlfriend is basically my business partner. We're in all of our businesses together. Actually, big tip, she owns 51% of both of our businesses equity-wise. And the reason is because that means we are a minority-owned business because we're woman-owned.
Exactly.
We now have access to all kinds of grants, all kinds of funding, all kinds of opportunities. And all I had to do was give up an extra percent. I don't care. I trust this woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
real.
that's a big
another
move.
reason I wanted to bring you on here because I've seen you doing that. I've seen you hitting the competitions, the pitch competitions
Yeah.
and stuff, man. Congratulations on, just the effort that y'all gave on that. And that's real, man. You don't see a lot of young people like in business with their partners. Like that's tough.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of things online where it's saying like, do not go into business with your significant other. I strongly disagree personally. I think if you can't trust them enough to go into business with them, why are you with them to begin with? You know what I mean?
Real.
Yeah.
That's
And
real.
I had someone talking to me about that
Regain.
recently. I was one of my professors actually. He started like a plant nursery and a ecological consulting firm, but he's a scientist. He doesn't know shit about business, and so I was basically helping him out. Spent like 2 hours with him doing some free consulting. I'm gonna start charging him soon though.
For sure.
But so anyways, one of the things is he has a business partner, right? And
Yeah.
I guess it's like a girl. It's not like his wife or anything like that.
Right.
But I was like, do you trust her? And he's like, yeah. And his business made $6,000 last year, right? So we're talking a small business.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, would you trust her if you made $6 million last year? And he sat back and he was like, I don't know. That's a different game. That's a different number. And I was like, so why are you in business with her now?
Right.
Because the whole point of a business is to grow it, right? You don't want to stay
Exactly.
stagnant.
You don't want to be the same than you was last year at all. No.
Absolutely. So you got to look forward to the future. If you can trust him with 6,000, you should be able to trust him with 6 million. Because otherwise, like you should not be in
That's
business.
crazy that you say that because I've always got this saying that if someone will steal $1 from you, they'll steal $1 million from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy that you said
100%.
that.
Slippery
they
slope.
definitely will. Yeah, man. Come on. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Honestly, and like people get so greedy when the numbers start getting that big, they're gonna start
Yeah,
figuring out a
man.
reason why they think they should do it.
It's like they won't miss this much.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's something I was watching this podcast. It was with Theo Vaughn and then the guy who started Raising Canes. And he was like, you got to be invested in like every level of the business. You know what I mean? Like even if you start going crazy buying water bottles and you don't know about it, like somebody's going to take advantage of that and start, you know what I mean? Like people just get off of on you. And
What's
you really got to pay attention.
Nah, for real. I like Theo Vaughn though. He's funny as
He's
is a
funny
funny
as
guy.
hell.
Yeah,
I don't believe half his stories, though, do y'all?
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of them, right? They're comedians, so it's
Yeah.
like
he did a
they
lot
gotta
of
do-
he did a lot of drugs.
He did a
and,
lot of drugs.
A lot of crazy
Now, one thing
places.
people won't tell
though.
you about drugs, don't do them, they're bad, but you will get a lot of good stories from them.
If you can
Yeah.
remember him.
If you can
I
remember
can't
'em.
I can't believe this guy. He must
A
write
lot
them
of bad
down.
ones,
He
but a
must
lot
have
of good ones too.
a pen and pad with him where he's rolling around
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
But
he-
I wanted to ask you, what are some of the ways that like your woman will keep you in check business-wise?
So I don't know if keeping me in check is the
Not
right
like
word.
that. Yeah, I don't want to say it like that. That's how I would say it with my
Yeah. But basically, I'm the risk taker. She's not, right? So
Okay.
As far as business goes, for the most part, I'm out there growing. I'm out there getting connections, talking to big corporations and stuff. And I'm really on the expansion side of things. She is mostly on the operating side. So when it comes to actually making the product, shipping the product, she does most of that stuff. But I'm out there marketing. I'm out there like networking. And networking is something that a lot of people will tell you like, oh, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you mean you're talking to people? No, like, I mean, I'm talking to like people worth millions and millions of dollars. Like, I'm seriously networking.
It doesn't even have to be about with people with millions of dollars. They could be broke. You just networking, period. Like, my aunt had this saying that like a fool or a blind, I think she said a fool can always teach you something or something like that, or a drunk can always teach you something. Like, networking just means connecting with people that you can learn from. It doesn't mean that they have to be successful. They can be down bad.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. Yeah.
You can probably learn the most from somebody like that.
Learn from their mistakes.
Exactly.
It's free.
Like, just network with anybody who can teach you something. That's a positive. That's a win in my book.
Absolutely, man.
As long as you learn something.
Yeah, treating everybody like a person, no matter how successful are they or not. But
yeah.
but you do want to like take, like you said, there was something in your book about when you take advice from somebody, you do want to look at their situation that they're in
compared to yours. People try to social media, that's just messed up a lot. People are trying to like take relationship advice from millionaires. Like, don't. Yeah. Their situation is different from yours, man.
Well, and a big part of that to me is like looking at where they are and where you want to be. So one example is for a lot of people, parents, right? You might tell your parents, hey, I want to go start this business. I'm about to drain my savings account to do it. And they're going to sit there and talk you out of it and be like, no, like, that's stupid. You could get a good job. You've got a good foundation. You've got your emergency fund. And the reality is, like, if your mom or dad or whoever that parent is they hate their job every single day, right? And they tell you about this. Like, I hate going to work. I hate the people I work with. Yeah. Do I want to be in your situation? No. So, but, yeah. It's kind of like taking that step back and, like, always listen to people. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, you learn a lot from people. Yeah. But at the same time, some of the things you learn is what you don't want to do and where you don't want to be.
Like, you might learn, I don't need to do what they did at all.
Yeah. So one of my things for like decision making, right, is when I have a big decision and I really don't know what I should do, I always go with my own answer. But what I do is I go and ask all these other people their opinion. Like, Dante, what do you think I should do? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'll ask my girlfriend, what do you think I should do? And sometimes, like, you might say the answer that I don't want to hear.
Right.
And that tells me, like, okay, that's not what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's not, like, I did gain something from asking you that.
Yeah, I did.
And so by asking people questions and hearing the answers that you do want to hear and that you don't want to hear, it kind of tells you how you actually feel. Because I'd rather make a mistake that I believed in full-heartedly than make a mistake that I just really didn't know about it. You know what I mean?
That's free therapy right there. You go out there and give your beef to everybody. They'll give you their opinion about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You'll gain some perspective, you know?
That's what it's about, gaining that perspective.
Yeah.
And it tells you what you want.
Yeah.
Make sure you go ahead and let them know where they can find you at High Point and Invective. Go ahead and drop the tags on there.
So we got websites and everything. The easiest way to find us, though, would be to look up High Point Decals on Instagram or Invective LLC on Instagram. And if you want to find the book, Dear Wantrepreneur, that's available on Amazon. You just type it in and it'll pop right up.
Free Wantrepreneur. Oh, Dear Wantrepreneur. Sorry.
Yeah, so I came up with the name for that because
it's cold, bro.
Bro, I think it's fitting with the book for real.
Yeah, like it's tough. You're going on your own path.
Yeah. Oh, you noticed that?
Yeah,
dude. I didn't think people were gonna notice that.
Yeah,
bro.
I tried all these sheep. You don't see all these white cars. They going on the whole humbug route to work.
And then you got this
we starting our own business over here.
Look at this blue dapper Dan just out there standing out in the crowd. That's what I'm saying. He can fit. I'm loving this suit,
bro. Man. I was rocking with it. I got it and I read it. I ain't gonna. That's why I said I wasn't gonna lie to you. I got to chapter 26. I'm gonna finish it though.
It's all good, man.
It was a good book.
It starts off mindset based, right, and then it kind of gets deeper and deeper into the actual business.
It progresses.
That's the part I'm getting into is the business.
So if you're not into the business stuff, that's fine. You probably gain something off the mindset chapters.
Just off the mindset.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. I don't care if you read the whole book. It's the value that you take away from it, right? I just want you to learn something.
Exactly. And I already bought it, so.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, but nah, I liked it though. But it was actually a good read. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna sit here and just because he right here in front of me. I'm an objective person. I liked it. That's actually really good so far.
You like the
I
chapter
can't wait to
length?
finish.
Because I
Yeah.
tried to make it so
It's
you could.
almost like the 48 Laws of Power kind of. You ever read that book?
No, should I?
Yeah, you got to read it.
What's it about? Tell me.
48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It's just about like a lot of people will tell you like don't. It's kind of like about manipulating people, but that's not really what it's about. It's just about it gives you these old lessons throughout history and how power works and how you should negotiate in business and things like that. It's really dope. You should check it out.
It sounds great, man. You ever
Yeah.
read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Nah, that's on my list. I have a list of books and that's on it. I know I
Put
gotta
that
get
higher on your list,
it.
bro.
I know I gotta get it. Bro.
I
I've
got-
been hearing about it for like 4 years. Like I know I gotta read it. I gotta get it ASAP.
So that book's actually part of what inspired me to start like the business and everything.
That's
so
what I'm-
I got to chapter 7, right? And I put the book down. I've never read it again, and I started my own business.
Straight
that was
like
it.
that.
7
Exactly, yeah.
chapters. That's it.
That's all
I
it
got
took,
it, too,
man.
yeah.
You still haven't finished it?
No, I don't
That's
know if I ever will,
crazy.
because like I started my path. You know what I mean? I don't need to.
Wow.
I've heard about that book so many times. I ain't even gonna, like.
I don't
hold
even
on,
need
I'll
to.
show it.
That's
No,
crazy.
seriously. Like
I'm not even
I think it's
messing
like 20, 25 bucks on Amazon. Buy that book.
Buy that book, man. That's a
I'm
wild.
not even lying to you. Where's it at? Right there on the second.
Oh,
second
good,
book.
good. He'll be reading this soon.
Second- yeah,
This will be
second
coming
book.
back up in the
Yeah.
podcast. I promise you,
It's
bro.
on
It's
my
an
second-
influential
yeah,
book.
Second book. But no, it's
Okay, I got 2 questions right here. These are back
Let's
to
get-
back.
let's
I
get-
wrote them
get
right
into 'em,
beside
man.
each other.
Get
The first
into
one
'em.
is, what books do you read?
Okay, so honestly, like I'm not a big reader, right?
I feel you.
I don't read a lot of like fantasy, Hunger Games, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Got you.
But when I first started trying to like start my own business, I literally went on Amazon and bought like 4 books. One of them was Rich Dad Poor Dad. Highly recommend that one. It's a great book. It's basically the premise is this dude, Robert Kiyosaki, the author, he had his biological dad who was poor, dirt poor, right?
Okay.
And he was a professor, but he wasn't happy in life, didn't have a lot of money, stuff like that. And his best friend's dad was filthy rich. Dude was a multi-millionaire. And so he used to go to his friend's house, of course, and learn from his friend's dad.
Yeah.
And so he got both perspectives. He got the middle class mindset and he got
And
the
the
rich
upper-
person
yeah.
mindset. And so that was a great book to kind of show you the perspectives and put a lot into play as far as like, this is what you should do. This is what you're being taught.
Right.
Right.
And beyond that, I read a couple other books about finance and stuff. You know, nothing really stuck out to me. A lot of it's sort of basic knowledge. Spend your money smart. Don't be an idiot. Go for the cheaper option if you're in Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking about buying a book like that, like personal finance or something. But like you said, it's probably just gonna be like, invest safely. It's like, who's to say what's safe?
I'm a big like I believe in like you should get the cheaper thing, but there's some things that should not be bought like off brand. Like some things gotta be
Like the
You can't be
logo,
out there-
like
you
you
can't-
spending $300 for the logo. You know,
like
what I mean?
you can't be out there buying cheap toilet paper. You gotta get the good toilet paper. That's
Do you have
gonna
a
be bad
bidet?
for you. Nah, I would
Oh
get
my
one.
God.
I would get one though. I would.
You got to invest.
Yeah,
I feel like you would
it's time to
save.
make
You would
the
save
change.
so much more money.
Bro, this is, I know we shouldn't be talking about this on the podcast because it's your asshole, but like, I'll be walking around now. My girl got me a bidet like a year ago, right? Bro, now I walk around
y'all
campus,
looking
I'm looking at people like, y'all dirty motherfuckers.
dirty.
You got dirty buttholes, bro. It's
You're dirty.
disgusting.
Yeah.
This shit'll change your life, man. I swear to God.
Oh man, I gotta get one. I gotta
Yeah.
get one. But nah, I feel like that's a. You seen? There's a South Park episode they did about that, like bidets and why we don't have them in like America like that. It's just because they make a lot of money on toilet paper.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason.
You saw the
And
pandemic,
you know that,
right?
and you still don't have one. That's crazy, man.
Like that's it. I ain't gonna lie. First of all, I've been changed my life. I done went to the flushable wipes, the wet wipes.
But that's not even
That's
close.
not-
to
not
the
even
same.
close.
Not
It's
even
not the
close
same,
to
but
the
that's
same.
going. That's way. It's still way. It's just it's the next step. Like
I
up from
guess.
toilet
You
paper.
think it saves you money?
No, it's definitely more expensive. I'm just saying I'm more cleaner when I use the wet wipes.
So here's the thing, bro.
But I know I'd be all the way clean with the bidet. But
Yeah. So I used to
man.
of course, like, you do your thing.
Yeah.
It takes a few different like grabs of the toilet paper because you you
Sure.
gotta wipe it clean. You know what I'm saying,
for sure,
bro? With the bidet, first wipe's clean. Swear. The only thing it
there's
does
some
is
of them
wipe
you
away
don't
the
gotta
water.
even wipe.
First white
Yeah.
clean.
I know it's weird to be talking about, but dude,
Some
I
of them
swear,
got the heater
dude,
right
I go
behind
through a
First
roll of
pass
toilet
through the
paper in
phone.
like a month now. Like,
Oh
it's-
my god!
it saves you
it's
so
a
much,
game
bro.
changer.
It's a game changer.
I changed JD's life. He told me he was so disappointed because he was going to the army like next week type
Yeah.
of stuff, and he's like, "You did this to me right before I'm probably gonna use the worst toilet paper of my life," and be like outside with it and stuff. I'm thinking, they got portable bidets though. It's kind of just like a water bottle attachment.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, you
nah,
just-
that sounds weird, man.
But I mean,
What
if you were in the woods, I think it'd be better than toilet paper in the woods. You feel me?
Probably.
You know?
And that's rough business.
Yeah, dude, it is such a life changer. I'm glad he
rough
said
business.
something though.
That's
You
rough
got it. You
business.
got it from the man himself right here. You can't ignore that. That's destiny. Like you said, you just said it before we started the podcast. You know, like you wake up, you bump your toe, that means something.
Yeah.
This guy brought up bidets out of
You gotta
nowhere
get a bidet, man.
just to change your life.
I guess I gotta get
Listen,
into it, man.
listen to him, bro.
Man, that first time you use it though, that's a shock.
Oh wow, it is. That's also a game changer.
It's water hitting you right where water shouldn't hit you, and it's like, oh my god.
You got to build up a tolerance.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels super weird, dude.
Oh man, I did not think we'd get to talk about this.
You getting a sauna, man?
Nah.
That's
He's
the
big
next
on
game
sauna.
changer.
He's big on the sauna.
Yeah.
Where you go to the sauna at?
In my gym's got one.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did wrestling in high school. I used to be big on the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like ripped in high school, man. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm scrawny now. I'll be honest with you.
You
Like,
wrestling in high school?
yeah, I was dirty too. I had a really good record.
What was your
That's
weight
crazy.
class, man?
I was 106, 113, depending on the year. You wrestle?
Yeah, we was
Yeah.
all wrestling in
Oh,
the same
really?
weight class.
Dude, I wonder
Where
if
you go
it.
to?
Yeah.
I went to Wakefield. You think we wrestled?
Nah, probably
Wakefield.
not.
Where's Wakefield at?
Wakefield. That's Raleigh, like Triangle area.
Not unless maybe in states, man.
Maybe at region.
Yeah, I might have seen y'all in States. Were y'all all in that weight class?
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
man.
yeah.
You, bro, you look too big to be a 106, 113.
I changed my life after I gave up wrestling.
After he left wrestling, it benefited.
All right, so let's get deep for a second.
Okay.
I really struggled with eating after
Yeah.
wrestling, and like that, in my opinion, that's why I'm so skinny still.
Yeah.
Did that hit you, bro?
Brother, no, wrestling and all them sports aren't healthy for you just because you get used to. I ain't gonna lie, I had to get used to like I had to think about it. Like I'm used to starving, so like I remember I just be around all my friends. They get to complaining, I'm hungry, and I just be like, man, y'all act like you ain't had food before, man. It's been like 11 hours since anybody's ate. Like that's not normal. Like you should be hungry. Like you're just used to not eating. Like
Yeah.
I can really go from to what? Well, we just had that at Wendy's. That's the first thing I ate today.
Bro, that's crazy. And don't I bring food everywhere? You got to kickstart your
So
metabolism.
how did you switch it up, man? Because I'm struggling, bro. I'm still skinny. Like I
I'll tell
can't.
you.
I want to gain weight. I
Yeah,
just
man.
can't.
I'll send you a diet plan, bro.
All right.
But-
Really into fitness, man. You should
Oh
get
yeah,
Word.
it's a lot of, you need high protein, and then when you start doing that, you need to mix fiber in because that's rough on your bowel if you aren't used to high protein. And I would say I would recommend eat as much like steak and chicken and fish and eggs and all that as you can, but that's tough to keep up with, and just paying for that stuff is tough. So myprotein.com, chocolate smooth blend. Bro, 2 scoops of that as many times a day as you can, bro.
I was doing this. GMC sells those powders, right?
Yeah, those suck.
Dude, it was a weight gain powder. Well, maybe that's why it didn't work. It was this weight gain powder. You had to have 4 heaping scoops. That's what it said, right?
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And I was doing that. It was pumping 3,000 extra calories into me.
Yeah.
I did that for a month straight.
Yeah.
You know how much weight I gained? A pound.
Yeah,
A
that's rough.
single pound.
Some people just got high metabolisms though, and it just don't wrestling. I feel like really stunts your growth.
Me
Like,
too, man.
It does. What are you doing any weightlifting or anything with it?
Nah, so I used to, right? After when I was doing the protein powders and stuff, yeah. For sure. But now that I'm big into the business, dude, I don't have time.
I get that.
I don't have time for anything, man.
Yeah.
Life got rough.
No, it does take a lot of time.
I'm not
I will
even
say
all
that.
the way in it like that, and it takes a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Time that you wouldn't even think, bro. It was
Because you're
a,
moving physical products. I'm not moving. Our stuff's kind of technically, I guess, intellectual property type deal.
Yeah.
Yours is physical
well,
products.
editing's
That's
a bitch, no?
Yeah, that's why we don't have no set schedule. We get these to you when you need them, not when you want them. We get these episodes to you not when you want them, but when you need them. All right.
The universe
Bear
tells
with
you
us.
they need
Yeah.
to give you the episode.
Yeah, because it's rough, man. My first episode, I ain't gonna lie, our first episode, the audio is terrible. Just
The
'cause I
jump
didn't
though,
know
man,
about-
the quality jump. I
Yeah.
commented something on that
Yeah,
because it
you
was
did.
huge.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Look at that
The
camera,
first
baby.
episode that we had, that was my first time ever touching iMovie.
Yeah.
I was in here for 12 hours that day, just messing around on it, and then it took forever. First camera that we had, oh my god, the first camera we had, the reason it was in parts for real was just because that camera only shot 20 minutes at a time.
Oh man, battery die?
No, it wasn't a like a videography camera. It was mainly made for photography.
That's cool.
That's just how it was. An older camera too. Like that's just how it came. It only
You're
shot
just trying to
20
get
minutes.
it going, you know?
Yeah.
Like it could shoot like a couple 20-minute videos. It just only shot 20 minutes at a time. We lost so much. There's so much footage that we've lost. Like just
Oh,
because
man. Yeah,
we
would
kept
keep going.
talking, like, and we didn't know that it stopped recording.
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough.
Yeah, man. That's
Is that what that little red light there means now?
That's what that little red light means. We got
that's
a
the
camera that
upgrade.
tells us, lets us know we're live. That's what it's about, though. Just small steps, leveling up. I still got a bunch more stuff I want to do with the podcast, though.
So how are you making revenues off this? Because I'm sure there's people out there that would love to buy a QTM hoodie or something like that. Are you selling merch? Or are you just doing the podcast for now and let the money come later?
Yeah, right now I'm just doing it just because I like doing it.
So that's free value. Hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, no, we definitely got some merch. Like, I got some. My brother, he was big into the merch. Like, he had his own thing going, and he already knows how to do them. So I'm probably just about to get that jumping real fast. So I don't know. I might go. I've been thinking. That's actually a question I want to ask you. It's a real business type question. I was thinking about going the Shopify route, but I've seen my brother do it do it blank T-shirts and
He makes them
do it
himself.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I want to do it that way, like just because I feel like the profit margin is bigger doing it.
It is bigger. So
It's just more time.
yeah.
Time to put into it and more work. Like,
yeah, but the profit margins are bigger, and then it's also better for the fans too, because like
Again,
that means
yeah,
Dante made this.
yeah.
Like you're not just buying a QTM Media shirt; like he made that for you, you. You know what I mean?
You
So
touch that material. I mean,
Yeah.
That's important. That's customer.
It's a little
customer
bit
value.
cooler that way.
Yeah. But then at the same time, like that's another thing where delegating comes in. Like Shopify is dope. I feel like
Yeah.
shout out to Shopify. Like that's dope that they've been able to help so many people get their brand off the ground, like and have it jumping.
So we've been doing free websites actually. We're gonna upgrade to Shopify soon as I graduate. But the subscription model for Shopify is kind of expensive. So we've been
Right.
doing like free websites. So because of that, our websites suck. Like I'll be honest with you, they look good, but they don't function good.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And so one of the things that we really struggled with is like, how do we focus on our websites? Because that's where a lot of e-commerce comes in, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of just threw it to the wayside. Like we do all our selling through social medias for the most part.
Wow.
That's another
Unless
big
it's like
thing.
corporate.
Another big thing now is like with the younger, like business is starting to be less and less corporate. Like it's still very corporate, but it's just like people are like a little bit more lax now. Like there's a lot more business done through social media. Like you could really have a business and only have a Facebook page and still do pretty well. But I mean, definitely now you got to have an Instagram, maybe a Twitter, but
It depends
definitely
on
an
what
Instagram.
business you're into and
Yeah,
what,
and
you know,
also,
how you
yeah,
made your
what
clientele, stuff like that.
business,
Absolutely.
But, you gotta have the social media because it can help in situations like that where your website may not like be up to code. Because I don't know how well mine will be. It's good for what it is right now, but I definitely witnessed some things where I tried to. I was like editing my website on this monitor that was super big. It was like a curved monitor. It was dope.
That's
Like,
cool.
Yeah. But then when I went and looked at it on a regular
Oh,
computer, it
no.
was like stretched, blown the hell up. Like I was like, oh man, I gotta go back. And I had to go back and edit it on that monitor because I couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see it on the regular
You
one.
didn't
to
see
edit
the outside of
it.
it.
Yeah, so it's trial
Lessons
and error.
learned, man.
Trial and error,
It's
man.
important.
Reinvesting.
There's so many like even when you know a lot about entrepreneurship, you really don't. There's so much more to learn every single time, every step of the way.
Yeah, man.
I think I've come a long way, but one example of that is like
You're killing
2
it.
days ago, I was pitching a startup company to this guy, Eric.
Right.
And he recently sold one of his businesses for $600 million.
Bread.
He also owns a healthcare company, an online gun store, and he's rolling out a mobile service, like
Dang.
mobile phone service.
So-
So this is like a big dude, right?
Yeah, he's
And-
having motion.
Yeah, so I like was sending him my pitch, went through it with him, and he responds with like his partner, who's this big investing guy, and he was like asking me a bunch of different questions, and he's like, "How much to create an MVP?" And I'm like, "What's an MVP?" And turns out it's minimum viable product. I'll save you all the lecture, but
Okay.
like you were saying, like you just learn so many things, and like even when you think you've got it all in entrepreneurship, you don't have the half of it, man.
Don't know nothing.
Nothing. Not compared to the next guy. You know what I
No.
mean? So that's what's one thing that's really cool about it.
And another thing that's cool about it is sometimes you do know way more than a lot of the people that are faking like they know a lot.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people out here faking, like giving consultant advice. They've got a nice, clean website, good firm, don't know nothing.
Bro, that
They're just
makes
out
me
here
so
pump
mad.
faking. They're just out here pump faking.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna be out there doing it when you're like 75 and just like addicted to this? Are you addicted to this lifestyle, or is this just something you do until you can get to that yacht and you can let it go?
Honestly, I haven't figured that out yet. Because, like, what I would like to say is, like, nah, like, I'm going to make it and then I'm going to chill out in life. But
Yeah.
the reality is, like, I spent years not knowing what I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so once I started my first business, bought my second business. Now I'm helping other people with their business, writing a book on it, helping more people. You know what I mean? Like, it does get addictive.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, like, I couldn't figure out, like, I went to college. You got to pick a major in college, right? And then that's a scary decision because it's like, all right, set your path in life.
Did you have more than one college major?
No, so I'm an environmental science major,
Okay.
but
Didn't change it, didn't nothing, just
no.
stuck
So
with that
I
one from the
added
jump.
a business administration minor.
Oh, okay.
But that was basically because, like, I was going to drop out. My grades are fine, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
like, dude, I got businesses. Like, I don't care about college. And so, but I'm very fortunate. My parents are paying for my college.
Right.
And so I had to kind of, like, pick up some classes so that I actually care about what I was learning.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's
You have
kind
to
of,
do that.
yeah, that's kind of where the
Have
minor
to.
came in for me. Because if I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't be here right now, man.
A lot of those like science degrees, man. It's like if you're a lot of people, like if you're young and watching this, man, those science degrees, if you're not trying to go into the medical field, be a doctor, nurse, something along those lines, switch it up, try something else because it's hard, it's boring.
But that being
If you're
said,
not passionate about it.
like, you can always pivot. Like, I'm
Definitely.
living proof of this. He's living proof of this. We're both like college students. You know what I mean? But we're obviously not focusing on our major. Like, he's focused on the podcast. I'm focusing on entrepreneurship, and like, we're gonna make it in our own right. You don't have to stay with what you're doing. You should see it through, finish your degree. But
Yeah, it's just one of those things that gives you another opportunity. Like,
Another leg
it gives
up.
you a leg up. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's what college is. I don't even think it's about the learning as far as in the classroom. It's just about you maturing away from home.
yeah,
And being around an environment where people are about to start businesses, starting businesses, working for a business. It's just an environment for you to learn so much outside of the class. Like,
It gives you like a resume bump that says like he will go somewhere and do something for 4 years or whatever it is, and like he'll show up and do a variety of tasks and do a well enough job to
Yeah.
get this piece of paper for, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
It's just like a you can do this type of deal. You can do adulthood better than some.
I just don't want to work that hard, like, for somebody else. Like, what's the point of just
Bro,
working yourself to the bone? Like, if you're gonna work that hard, you might as well open your own thing.
I think if you're gonna work for somebody, you better really enjoy what you're doing. You
yeah,
know what
like,
I'm
don't
saying?
hate
You better
There's nothing
spend your
wrong with
days
having a
happy.
job, but don't hate it.
Yeah.
God, don't hate it. That's gonna be terrible.
And that's not to say like if you can't find a job right now that's not happy, you know, like you got to make enough bread to survive.
Sometimes you gotta thug it out. You gotta have
Yeah.
rock a crappy job. Everybody's
right.
gotta do
That's
that. Everybody's
fair.
got to rock a crappy
But
job.
be looking for a job that you can be happy
that you can be
doing.
happy at, man. Don't be mad at your job all
Yeah.
day.
If you're not trying to be an entrepreneur, because some people are trying to be an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, and
You
make
don't
their
have
own
to.
job.
And you really don't have to be, but be happy.
Yeah.
Find passion or purpose in what you're doing out here.
That's what I'm saying.
you know, there's a lot of power in what you guys are saying. So one of the things you'll hear a lot of like millionaires, billionaires talk about is how do you measure success? Because you can measure it in money, sure.
Yep.
You can measure it in the time that you can spend with your friends and family because money provides you that freedom, right? If you don't have to go to work every day, you can spend more time with the people you love.
That's crazy.
But you can measure it in happiness. And that's where most of them measure it. And most billionaires, millionaires that you'll talk to on this podcast, they'll tell you like money is not a measure of success. It's how fulfilled you feel in your life.
Yeah.
And so if you work a 9 to 5, but you love what you do, dude, you've made it.
Yeah.
All day long.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. That's real. Man. You really put that in perspective. Like, how do you measure success? That's crazy.
Bro.
It can only be happiness. Like,
Yeah.
it can only be that.
Buddy on Raising Cane's was measuring success in chicken finger meals, and they are the best at it.
That's funny.
You stupid. I like it,
He's the king of chicken finger meals.
man. I like it, man. What advice would you have to young entrepreneurs, man, before we wrap up?
Don't listen to the people that tell you you can't do it. And if you're young, take the risk. Because the thing is,
Exactly.
if
We
you're
got
gonna,
so much.
yeah, if you're gonna risk everything you have at 20 years old, dude, we're talking like 10, 20K max. Like you probably don't have that much, right? But if you're risking it all at 45, 50, you've got a lot to lose.
That's everything.
Like,
That's too close to me.
Yeah,
It's too
car,
close to
your
me.
family, your
If you
future.
fail then, like you were screwed. And I'm not saying if you're old, you shouldn't take a risk. I'm just saying like, if there's a time to do it, it's when you're young.
Yeah, like if you're gonna invest, like which I'm trying to get into, but like if you're gonna invest in things like in our age at 20s, do it aggressively. Don't do it like I'm gonna just put a little bit in. Nah, go for it. Let's do it.
Drop your old paycheck.
Go for it.
We got time to talk about investing or no?
Yeah, man. What's up, man? We kicking game. That's what we do here.
So my word of advice for investing, like if you're first getting into it, right?
Okay.
Take an amount of money that you're comfortable with losing. For me, it was $100, and go put it into a Robinhood account, whatever you're gonna do, TD Ameritrade, you know, and just play with it and like kiss that money goodbye. The second you deposit
Definitely.
it, you lost the money. Who
You
cares?
lost it. Who cares?
Here's my question.
That's how you got to look at it. Like I spend this amount of money per like month, year on like even just stopping at the gas station, getting snacks, or I spend this money on getting stupid things. Like just go for it. Like I did 500 my first investment, but it was in a startup, so that's different.
But you learned a lot
just
though,
think
right?
about it. Like I lost it. I'm waiting to see what it do. I hope it do something. Please.
Can you lose money in the stock market as far as like you put that 500 in and then you spend it all, whatever, that's gone, but like can you go less? Like can you go in debt?
Yeah, so there's this thing called options trading, right?
Okay, yeah.
And that's more advanced. That's where you get rich off $100.
Yeah.
But super risky. So certain things, like I don't think you can lose money with calls.
Okay.
But there are things like puts and other ways that you can do options trading.
Yeah.
Where you can go in debt and they'll margin call you, which is
Yeah.
basically like the brokerage calls you and they're like, hey man, you're in X amount of debt. We're not going to let this ride anymore. You now owe us 70K. And it's like, whew. So,
We're not
be
gonna
careful
let it
with that.
Like we're pulling you out.
Yeah. And now you owe us this money.
Oh
Yo,
my
man,
god.
that's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I would set my limit at like
have to,
as soon as I owe you $5, go ahead and pull me out.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull me out.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I gotta be liquid.
I don't want to play with that. That's
tough.
crazy.
You want to set yourself up to learn though. With stock
got
markets,
to.
with your own business, you know what I mean? Like I reinvest everything. I haven't made a single dollar from my business. Now
Just put it all back into it.
yeah, they're both wildly profitable. They're making money. You know what I mean? The thing is like, I just buy new equipment, buy new materials, buy new this, buy new that. Because I'd much rather grow and learn than make money.
That's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm just doing it because it's actually been fun. Like we're linking up with other businesses. The episodes ain't out yet, but they'll be out soon. They haven't seen that we're actually going and like going to those businesses, linking up with them, and it's pretty fun just been making that like networking with them, and we haven't like put it to a monetary use yet, I guess, but I just feel like it'll come.
So y'all need to get on them in the comments. Tell them you want merch. Tell them if you want decals. Tell them whatever it is that y'all want.
They're gonna get
so
the
they can
merch for
grow
sure.
this. We need some banners back here. We need the
Definitely
table to
do.
look a little less like, empty. So
Bro, we
give
need
them some money to reinvest.
For sure.
We need
I've
to
been thinking about dropping just a little cash app right there.
Yeah, I don't think a
corner.
Cash App. I think that'd be kind of like people would hate on you for that.
Little,
But
little PayPal, little PayPal right there in the corner.
throw a donation link in the comment, man.
Just might do that.
That's a little bit smoother way to
Yeah, or in the
sell that
description
shit.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like people, I think you could gain some traction, especially from the business owners you're interviewing, because you got to think of it like an ad, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm just trying to do now is build the following, and then once I have that following that I feel like is sizable and not like super crazy, just a solid following, then that's when I'll start like charging for services and stuff like that. But right now I just want to learn and just connect with people in this area, North Carolina.
yeah, I think it's super cool what you're doing, man. I love the Qualified to Motivate podcast. I think y'all should be tuning in every week or however often they drop it because they're slacking. But
Definitely slacking.
We appreciate
it's a
the
good
love,
show.
man.
We might hit Fiverr and get us an editor, really. That's what all it is.
Hey, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur but you ain't sold on it yet, go get this book, Dear Wantrepreneur.
take a risk. It'll be fine.
That's a good last shot. I like that.
Thanks for watching.
And we had our boy Steven Ryder in
Thanks for
here. It's the
listening.
Qualified to Motivate podcast. I'm your host with the most, Dante Equipment. I'm in here with the redhead, Mr. Cherry Top, Bryson
You know
Rodier.
what it is. You know what it is.
And we're in here with Mr. Wantrepreneur.
Hey man, thanks for coming and
Ryder.
talking.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having me,
coming and
y'all.
spitting game
Definitely,
for
bro.
us.
I'm gonna give
man.
out awards at the end of this season. I'll probably
Yeah.
do 25 episodes, and you definitely won best dressed.
Best
and you're the
dressed.
first person to bring
And
gifts.
best gift so far. Look at this cap right
And
here.
you brought the Invective caps
That
in.
Invective
I don't wear
cap.
hats, but I still
I
love
got,
this.
I got the headset
My
on, or I
girlfriend's
put it
gonna
on
love
for
that.
everybody. But yeah, man, that's dope.
That's dope.
That was one of our clothing line things that we never ended up selling. Got like 20 of those, but never sold them.
Hey man, that's an exclusive piece right there. 2 of 20.
Watching one in a
Out the
couple
box.
years, it's gonna be worth a lot more than 20.
There you go.
For sure.
We appreciate it, man.
That's how we coming at y'all, man. It's a wrap. Y'all be sure to go follow my man. Oh man.
That work out? Give you guys some good content.